Hello everyone, and welcome to another Nerd Break video. My name is Joseph Dobrosiv, and today we got some not so great news that Nintendo is pushing off the pre-orders for the Switch 2 indefinitely currently because of the tariffs imposed by the US government. So if you're here in the United States like I am, and you are wanting to pre-order the Switch 2 come April 9th, well, we're not going to get to currently. And Nintendo has not said when pre-orders will actually open, which is, quite frankly, I mean, kind of an obvious reaction. I do want to address, though, the reactions. I know that a lot of people have not been happy about the price. I am not necessarily the happiest person about the price either, and the fact that the pre-orders are getting pushed off because of tariffs is definitely not necessarily the best of signs. But I do want to offer some hope to those of you who, like myself, were still wanting to pre-order a Switch 2, and that is that I ultimately believe that the tariffs are going to amount to very little. And the reason why I say that is this: the Japanese government and all the other governments that are getting tariffs imposed on them are going to want to make a deal to get out of them. And they're going to want to make it pretty quickly. So I ultimately think that all of this is going to blow over. Now, there was talk about how the Switch 2 price could wind up jumping drastically in the case of the tariff sticking around, which is legitimately fair, but I do believe that the Switch 2 price is not going to jump. I also don't think it's going to get lowered any. I think that the $450 price that Nintendo has set forward is going to be what they're going to stick with. They're going to try very hard to stick to that price point and not waver from it. And I believe ultimately that is because they've already put out the price. They don't want to adjust their plans any more than they already have. They've already put these plans into motion. So any leverage that Nintendo has with like the Japanese government, or even any leverage they may wind up having here with the US government, they will try to employ that as much as possible to keep the price right where it's at on both the system and the games themselves. Ultimately, they have a budget and they are going to want to make money, and this is the path forward that they have chosen. Now, whether they ultimately have any leverage, who knows? But I do know from my business background that there are a lot of moving parts here, and that anything can ultimately wind up happening, but I don't expect anything to really drastically change from the current outline of what Nintendo has put out for pricing on anything. It's just not likely. They're going to want to keep the pricing the same, and there is a slight chance of an increase, but because of all the blowback, I do not believe that Nintendo is going to want to go down the road of increasing the price of the Switch 2 or its games for any reason, because that could cannibalize sales. And I do think that sales could already be cannibalized just a little based on all the blowback over the high prices of the games. Ultimately, if you are like me, have an issue with the price, then you have really one major option, and that is to wait for sales and wait for discounts. Don't buy any immediately, because if you don't buy any immediately, you force Nintendo to have to lower prices at some point. And that's really the consumer's biggest weapon, is just vote with your wallet. But ultimately, towards all these tariffs, I would say to anybody that is reacting to them immediately, just don't. It's not worth it. If you're getting upset over them, it's ultimately, I don't think, gonna amount to anything. So just take a step back, let this stuff play its course. It will find out soon, relatively soon at least, what happens. Just take a deep breath, relax. I really truly believe this is all going to blow over. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below if you agree with me or disagree with me. And if you haven't already, and if you've enjoyed this video and all the videos I've made, please don't forget to like and subscribe. But thanks so much for watching, hope to see y'all again next time. And as always, don't forget to take a break from life and nerd out. Bye everyone.